channel. My name's Jade and I hope you're having the most wonderful day. In today's video we're going to be discussing bipolar, the different types of bipolar, what type I have and how it's affected me. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already and hit that notification bell if you want to be notified when I upload. And with that being said, let's get into the video. So from what I understand, there are 3 different types of bipolar. So there is bipolar 1, bipolar 2 and cyclothymia. So I'm diagnosed with bipolar 1. So bipolar 1 is characterised by having at least one manic episode that's lasted longer than a week. And you might also experience depressive episodes, but not everybody with bipolar 1 will experience these depressive episodes. Bipolar 2 is characterised by experiencing at least one episode of severe depression and symptoms of what's called hypomania. Cyclothymia symptoms are if you've experienced a mixture of hypomania symptoms and depressive symptoms over a term of about 2 years or more. These symptoms are usually milder than bipolar 1 or bipolar 2. I was actually diagnosed with cyclothymia first before I was diagnosed with bipolar 1. Basically my psych realised that my mania episodes weren't just hypomania, they were mania. So my diagnosis ended up being changed from cyclothymia to bipolar 1. So what is the difference between hypomania and mania? Hypomania is a form of mania that usually lasts for a shorter amount of time, so usually a week or less. Whereas mania will usually last for a longer period of time, and it can last from a week to up to 6 months in my experience. So what are the symptoms of hypomania? So the symptoms are feeling very happy and very euphoric, feeling very excited, feeling agitated and irritable, increased sexual energy, and being easily distracted is another symptom of hypomania. Now the symptoms of mania are pretty much the same plus a few added on. So basically all of those, but there's a couple more with mania that you might experience. Those are feeling extremely confident and untouchable, feeling that mental and physical tasks are a lot easier for you, and feeling like you understand, see or hear things that other people don't. So I'll talk a little bit about my experience with mania. I think the longest period of a manic episode I've ever had was about 6 months long. It's scary in a way, but it can feel really good at the same time, which can be a little bit confusing, but it can also get very agitating, very irritable at the same time. So you may feel that really euphoric feeling, but you also feel like nothing's satisfying your urges. The symptom where you feel and hear and see things that other people may not. I've definitely experienced that. I've gone through times where when I have been manic, I've believed that I had some kind of special powers, that I was like a chosen one, like I was something really, really special and, better than everybody else. And obviously not in a narcissistic way, a deluded way. I was, so manic that I wasn't paying attention to reality. And I was kind of blinded by the mania. And it makes it very difficult to function, although some people can function quite well when they're manic. In fact, they may function better because you do have a lot of energy, you do feel a lot more productive, you do tend to get things done, which does happen, but it doesn't mean it's necessarily a good thing. Being manic can be very dangerous. There's times in my life where when I've been manic, including when I was underage, when I was a minor, I would do things, go places that I really probably shouldn't have done. I put myself in a lot of dangerous situations as a young girl, even though I'm non-binary, but that's for another video. But for a young person, I should say, I put myself in a lot of dangerous situations, and a lot of people with bipolar, when they are experiencing manic episodes, including hypomania, I'm not trying to downplay hypomania at all. It's just as irritating, it's just as hard to cope with as mania. Now let's talk about the depressive episodes. These are crippling. In my experience anyway, they have been just awful. It feels like nothing, there's no colour in the world. It's like the life has been completely sucked out of you. I'm sure anyone that's experienced depression knows this feeling. It's not you know, it's not unique to bipolar. Obviously depression is its own illness as well, so you know, anyone that's experienced that may relate to this. But for me, when I have been experiencing a depressive episode, my suicidal thoughts are, you know, amplified. I tend to be self-harming more. I tend to act out on self-destructive thoughts more. And I feel numb. I'm sure, again, a lot of people know what I'm talking about. It's that feeling where nothing feels like it matters anymore. It's just such a deep, bellowing ache. It's the only way I can describe it. It's just such a horrible feeling. So both mania and depression are really difficult to cope with, especially because bipolar, all three forms of it. The thing that's so scary about bipolar is that it is so unpredictable. So one day you could be feeling absolutely great, you've been feeling great for months, and then you start to feel this depression creeping in, and eventually it just kind of takes over and you feel this crash, and that's it, then you've crashed. And that may be another 3, 4, 5, 6 months until you feel that manic episode again, until you feel that mania. Now with bipolar, there are quite a few different kind of medication options you can try. Medication is usually offered, and usually, you know, one of the first things people do when they get diagnosed is be prescribed a medication to help ease their symptoms. So I'm on 10 milligrams of aripiprazole a day. I also take 225 milligrams of venlafaxine and also promethazine as a PRN. So I can take that up to 4 times a day, which is 100 milligrams because I have 25 milligram tablets. So I can take that up to 4 times a day as and when I need to, if I feel like I am irritable, getting a bit, you know, restless, things like that. So other medication options for bipolar usually include things like lithium. That's a very, very popular one that gets prescribed. I've never personally been prescribed it. With medication as well, you do have to be very cautious, and it is all about trial and error. Another option is antipsychotics, which is what aripiprazole is, which is what I'm on. Another option for bipolar treatment is anticonvulsive medication. So this includes things like carbamazepine. So these are all classed as mood stabilizers. I was prescribed carbamazepine about a year ago. I was meant to take 400 milligrams a day, but I never ended up taking them, which was probably not the best idea. But I was quite scared of the side effects, so I just didn't ever bother taking them. Other treatments for bipolar disorder include talking therapies, so anything like CBT can be helpful because it can help you to identify your triggers, identify when you're, you know, spiraling into a depressive episode or a manic episode, being able to see the signs and act accordingly and reach out if you need extra support, if you feel like you're about to hit a really low point. So in my experience, my bipolar was undiagnosed for quite a while. I was only diagnosed about 2 years ago, and the reason I kind of was diagnosed was because I started talking about my mental health past in general, and I mentioned how there would be times where, you know, for 6 months at a time, say, or well, between 3 to 6 months, I would be really, you know, manic, and I would be talking a lot. I would have all these ideas. I would think I was, like I said earlier, something really special, and I had these magic powers or something. You know, it was a deluded idea. And then there would be a few months after where I would just be in the lowest of low places. And it was quite difficult to see because of my borderline personality disorder. If you don't know, BPD is also characterised with mood swings, but they are a lot more rapid than bipolar. So, you know, it could be 10 minutes, it could be an hour between mood swings. This was what made it hard for my psych to even notice it, as, you know, every mood swing was put down to BPD. Having both BPD and bipolar means that I'm always in like a default mood. That's what I call it, my default mood. So it's either manic or depressed. Then on top of that, I have all these other symptoms, all these other mood swings that are kind of like mini mood swings on top of my big mood swings. So at the moment I'm actually having a bit of a depressive episode. I have been for a few months. This one, just like the one before my last one, has taken me out of work. I'm currently off, hoping to get back into work in the next few weeks. Bipolar disorder needs a lot more awareness than it has. I mean, people know of it, but there are a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of people who don't really know the differences between the three types of bipolar. If we are in a manic episode, then, you know, we just need that extra support. Same with a depressive episode. We just need some support, some help, the right medication, the right treatment. And with all those things, anyone with bipolar or cyclothymia can live a stable life, as stable as possible, and a happy life. So if you suspect that you or somebody you know may have bipolar, please reach out for professional help. Please try and get a diagnosis if you can. If not, then just reach out to online communities. There's so many out there, especially on Twitter, places like Facebook, Tumblr, they all have those kind of things too. Instagram, amazing mental health communities where you can reach out and meet other people that are just like you. I hope this video has been somewhat informative. I haven't gone into crazy detail about my own experience just because there's quite a few stories that I might save for another day that are a little bit more personal, and so those videos will come in the future with a massive trigger warning before I start. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a like and a thumbs up if you did, and hit that subscribe button, plus that notification bell so you can be notified when I upload. Again, I hope you're having the best day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.
Life was dull until you came.